let me talk for just a minute about 4 steps in becoming proactive in reaching prior agreement. We're talking about prior agreement. This is the first foundation of peace. And now I want to talk about how to become proactive. Number 1, clear out the radioactive issues and make them a priority to resolve. You've got to begin with your worst issues, and nothing is off limits. See, when you have radioactive issues, you've got an elephant standing in the middle of the room you can't talk about. It's there, it's always there. You can't talk about the kids, you can't talk about the stepkids, you can't talk about sex, you can't talk about money, you can't talk about so-and-so. You know, there's this elephant standing right there, and it's a radioactive issue, and it's going to keep you from peace because it's there. And you can't talk about it. That's the way money was for us. You've got to start there. And in many cases, you can't resolve that issue on your own. And I want you to listen to what I'm about to say, because this is an extremely important comment. There will always be an issue or issues in every marriage, in every family, that you cannot resolve yourself. And if you don't go outside of your marriage to get help, you're going to live the rest of your life with that problem in your marriage, or it's going to cause you to divorce. You've got to be humble. You've got to be teachable to make it. And so you're going to have problems in life that you can't solve. And the secret is going to be not to tell everybody your problems. I'm not saying that. But to find people that you confide in and submit to. Don't argue with them. Submit to them. If they're successful, they know more than you know. If you're struggling, listen to them, and you can take care of your problems. Number 2 step in becoming proactive in finding peace in prior agreement is stop reacting to issues. Stop reacting. When Karen and I, we fought all the time when we first got married. We didn't understand, what was going on. But now, if Karen and I don't have a perfect marriage, but we have a good marriage. And sometimes we'll fight about things. We don't have knockdown, drag-out fights, but sometimes we'll argue. And when we're arguing, what we realize is it's okay to have, an argument every now and then, or, a good marriage is not a marriage where you never fight. A good marriage is where you can resolve your fights. And you fight right. There's not mean stuff and damaging stuff. So when Karen and I are arguing about something, that's not a problem. But if we argue about the same thing over and over, what we realize is we're not being proactive. We need to sit down and discuss this issue at length, or we're just going to keep arguing about it. And this leads to step number 3. Step number 3 is have a vision and planning retreat at least once a year to establish clear dialogue and agreement. We came up with this resource called the Mountaintop of Marriage, and this is to help couples have a vision retreat, to ask questions, to lead you through preparing to go while you're there and after you come back, so that you have a vision for your marriage. Proverbs 29:18 says, where there is no vision, the people are unrestrained. It literally means when 2 people aren't looking at the same thing, they can't stay united. They ultimately divide. And so God wants to give you a vision for your children, a vision for your marriage, a vision for your family, and all of those things. And when you get that, you're just going to have peace. And you can have it all the time. It's a very critical thing. Number 4 is have regular time of communicating face-to-face without any distraction. When Karen and I first got married, the TV was always on, kids were always around, and Karen was wanting to talk, and I wasn't talking. I wasn't meeting her need for communication. We weren't talking. And it caused a tremendous amount of problems, because open and honest communication is one of the most important needs that a woman has. But it's very important for couples. And so many years ago, when God was healing our marriage, I committed to Karen to meet her need for open and honest communication. And we started walking together, and we walk an hour and a half when we walk, and we'll talk for about 45 minutes and pray for about 45 minutes when we walk. One of the best things we've ever done. One of the things that Karen and I learned to do years ago that was so helpful to us was to have a vision retreat every single year. And this is for 3 or 4 days. And let me tell you something, if you're going to fight, have plenty of time to fight. And don't just fight for 20 or 30 minutes and go to each side of the house. Get together for 3 or 4 days and say, something, we have some difficult things to discuss. Mm-hmm. And what we would do, Karen, is we'd wake up in the morning, mm-hmm. and that we would spend the first half of the day talking and praying about each individual issue and the radioactive issues. And we would talk about it until we could find a place of agreement believing that we were doing what God wanted us to do.
When I loved it, when we did it though, is what helped me anyway, to not feel the insecurity and I don't know what's going to happen, is we would pray first. You know,
Right.
we would each have our separate time, and we would pray individually, and we would ask God to help us and to help us all three, us, him, and you and me, figure out how to deal with this.
Right.
And then we would come together, and then we'd pray again, and it was like something was disarmed, knowing that God was in the middle of it. It was like it was no longer you and me trying to figure it out. It was like, okay, we're going to submit ourselves to something, a person, a God who knows so much better than we do.
Well, and not only did the radioactive issues disappear when we had our vision retreats, but we came to that place of, it was the best thing we ever did for our marriage. I mean, literally, we had a good marriage before we started doing our vision retreats. When we started doing the vision retreats, our marriage just went to another level. And it brings peace. You stop fighting because you agree. And you've had 3 or 4 days to talk every issue through, the children, money, sex, everything. You've talked it through. And that's what is so critical for us to understand that our marriages, we're just going to fight. And we're going to have disagreement, and we certainly are not going to have intimacy in our relationship when we don't have time to sit down and talk about those critical kinds of issues. We actually have a resource here at Marriage Today that helps you to have a vision retreat. It's called the Mountaintop of Marriage. You can go on marriagetoday.com and you can see that resource there. But you know, this program today, we're able to come to you because of our precious partners who stand with us financially every month. They're called our rock solid partners. Literally, they're the backbone of this ministry. And so much of the finances that we are used to buy airtime, to come to you and to do all the things that we do to help marriages succeed across America and around the world, we're able to do because of our rock solid partners. And this special group gets a special resource every month that's called our Dream Marriage Library. It's the best of our seminars, of our marriage teachings, of my teachings and sermons, and it also comes with notes. Every single month, it's continuing education for your marriage. You don't have to go find it or buy it. It comes to you when you become a rock-solid partner. And this is continuing education to help you to have the marriage of your dreams, to solve problems. And you literally can just sit there and build a library, and you can receive this now physically, but also you can receive it electronically. It can come on your computer, on your iPad, your iPhone, along with notes. So you can listen to it, you know, maybe individually or even come together as a couple and to have a date night and to have a time together of just studying and growing in your marriage. We need you to stand with us financially and become a rock-solid partner, but we want to get you now this special resource in response. Here's how you can become a partner.
Take a stand for your marriage and become a rock-solid partner today. Join at the $14 level and you'll receive online access to the Dream Marriage Library with a new message each month. At the $28 level, you'll also receive each month's lesson on CD and DVD. And join at the $56 per month level and we'll add exclusive partner perks, including invitation-only access to live phone seminars and exclusive Marriage Today events. Become a rock-solid partner today. Thank you for joining us. Partner with Marriage Today and receive the series, Our Secret Paradise. Marriage Today's latest book, Happy, Happy Love, will supercharge your marriage with practical tips, wisdom, and inspiration for every stage of marriage. Visit happylovebook.com. Follow your interests and get social by connecting with Jimmy and Karen and the Ministry of Marriage Today on Twitter. And don't forget, become a rock-solid partner and receive the Dream Marriage Library. There's a rock-solid partner level to fit every need.